and welcome to Unpacking Voices. I'm your host, Aditi Digikar, and today I have the pleasure of introducing you to Nivedita. Nivedita is a certified health and transformation coach, crown holder of Mrs. South Asia 2023, HR professional by the day, co-founder of Redesign You, a health and wealth management company, co-author of a book, and a mother to 2 teenagers and a fur baby. Hi Nivedita, welcome to the podcast.
Hi Aditi, thank you for having me.
Of course, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Good. I would like to also wish you a very happy Mother's Day.
Oh, thank you very much.
Of course. So we have a few questions for you. We're just going to go through them and get to know you a little.
Sure.
All right. As a South Asian woman, were there cultural or community expectations that clashed with your goals? And how did you navigate this?
Biggest expectation that this society puts on us is whether we cook or not. Don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean, whether you're a working mom, a professional, whether you cook and put the food on table, that's the most important. Everything else doesn't matter, right? So yes, that's the biggest. And if you don't do that, you're putting that guilt on yourself that you can't do my own vegetables and cooked.
Wow.
So I did that, yes. But that's something I love. I did it again by choice because I love gardening. I did that. But when they would see me as a professional, people would assume that I don't cook. If you're a working professional, you probably don't cook. But yes, I did. I managed pretty fine cooking, cleaning, and taking care. Yes, it's sometimes a stretch, but I enjoyed it, because I guess for the way we grow up, food is very, very important, and that's like the way to your heart. So, yeah.
All right. What advice do you have for women?
My biggest advice would be don't aim for perfection. Perfection is just an idea. So don't put that pressure on yourself. Don't try to be perfect. On the days, do your best, what you can at any given time. You don't have to be perfect. But consistency, choose consistency over perfection. Consistency in taking care of yourself is your priority, your responsibility, not just towards yourself, but towards your family, because that's actually a gift that you're giving them. A healthy life, a healthy you is a gift to your family. So it's very, very important to prioritize yourself. Most of the time, they don't think we can do it. If we are good homemakers, we cannot be good professionals. Or if we are in the professional arena, then we cannot take care of a family. But that's not true. We are the best multitaskers. That's what women are. Women can do, and that's our superpower, that we can multitask, right? So if we can not worry about perfection, do our best at any given time and situation in that day, we have achieved it. So that's my advice. Don't worry about perfection. Take care of yourself. Learn from your failures. Do not quit, because quitting is the only way to fail. So learn from your failures. When you fail at something, dig deeper, find out what your why is, why you're doing certain things a certain way. And mostly the pushback, the hold-ups is in our mindset. It's what we think, the stories we tell ourselves. So when we push past those stereotypes, the mindsets, or the negative thoughts that we have, or the societal pressure that we get succumbed to, when we push past that, you see success. So we got to hang in there, because there are good days, there are bad days, but do not quit. And we have to celebrate our wins. We have to celebrate every small, big win. And that's the way to move forward, by celebrating us. And today is Mother's Day, so we do have to celebrate.
All right. So how do you deal with imposter syndrome, or the fear of being too much in any one role?
Imposter syndrome is real, and I in fact felt that quite a bit. I've learned to deal with it. I watch what I think. When I have negative thoughts pulling me down, I take a step back. And in fact, I learned that from my program that I coach as a health and transformation coach. There are these tools that we use, and those have really come handy. The stop, challenge, and choose really helps me push past the imposter syndrome, because I did feel that when I got my success in my own health journey and I decided to pay it forward by coaching other people succeed in their own journeys, when I saw people give me excuses, I would think that am I the right fit to give them advice? That imposter syndrome is for real. You know, when you see people giving you pushbacks, you kind of take it on yourself. Their failures, you take it on yourself. And for me, and that moment was very important to actually take a step back, think about it, on why am I doing what I'm doing? Why am I the right fit? Learning from my own mistakes, my failures, my setback gives me the upper hand in a way to help them see that that's not it. They can still do better. They can still manage their family and take care of themselves. Yeah, it is possible. And I'm the live example that it is possible.
What are some non-negotiables for avoiding burnout?
The non-negotiables are having a good night's sleep. We absolutely underestimate it, but a good night's sleep is actually the key to avoid burnout. You have to have a cutoff time to stay away from your phone and give that bedtime, do a bedtime routine to get that quality sleep, and your performance for the next day will increase tremendously, and you will see the difference. But that's a non-negotiable for me. You know, and again, my health, I do prioritize what I put in my mouth. For me, that's what I choose to do. And when you make those choices, you are actually putting yourself first, and not just for you, but for your family too. In the long run, that's a gift you're giving them.
All right, and then was there a defining moment when you realized you were actually doing it?
Yeah. This book actually helped me see that. Yes, it actually helped me see that. Through these hard times, I still stuck through it, and it's just not for me. I have the responsibility of my clients, my daughter. So failure for me was not an option. I didn't give it as an option, right? I can throw the towel and say, hey, but if you're driving a bus with a whole bunch load of people, you're not going to, deep dive in the valley. But if it's just you, you have all the reason to kind of plunge into the valley, because you're not responsible for anybody else. So coaching did that for me, and when I was writing the book, I actually reflected my entire journey, and that for me was the biggest eye-opener to see how far we've come. Yeah. And let me tell you, I wasn't an introverted child. I grew up shy. That was me. That was my personality. So to come out of that shell to where I am now, that is a big deal. That is huge because, yes.
Winning the title, writing the book.
Yeah. For an introverted girl who was so, I would let everybody else take the limelight. I was happy in the back seat. But yeah, to come past all those barriers was huge. Yeah, I'm grateful.
And who is your inspiration?
I have a lot of inspirations. Growing up, my godparents were my biggest inspiration. My dad, my mom, my sisters. Now my husband, he's my biggest cheerleader. My kids have been such a good support system. So it's been a great journey. I have got a lot of support for them, but you have to stand up for yourself. So my biggest inspiration is my old self that I look back upon, and it was a difficult time for her. She was in a very bad space in her life, in her health, in her mindset, and she had to break all those barriers to be where she is now, right? She had to break through the stereotypes that people saw. She did put a big smile on her face. You wouldn't tell that she's sad, because that's what we are taught to do, is to put a brave face, right? But the internal turmoil nobody gets to see. So my biggest inspiration is my old self. I look back upon her, and when I see myself now, it's very gratifying. Yeah.
And I know you started, with kids and everything, so it is possible.
It is absolutely possible to do it, but every day take it as it comes. Do not put too much pressure on yourself. Do not worry about perfection. Do the best you can on any given day.
So, what would you right now tell your old you, who maybe when there were times of failures, when you were down, what would you tell her?
It's okay to be down at that point. Take that moment to yourself, reflect inwards. Your answer is always inward. Don't try to look for solutions outside. It's always the pushbacks that you get, your negative spirals, the stories that you tell yourself. They are what cause the hurdles in your life. We think it's the other way around. The hurdles are coming, and that's why we have to do certain things. But it's actually what the beliefs that we hold, those are the challenges we face. So whenever you have any failure, when you have setbacks, reflect inwards. Sit with yourself, find out what the problem is. Why is it happening? What is the story I'm ever telling myself? And you'll always find the answer. And I would tell my old self now that you have come a long way, and I'm so proud of you. And it's just because you just trusted the process, trusted that it's going to happen. You saw the change that is possible, and you believed in it. And the success you got speaks for itself. Yeah.
All right. Another question I have is, for all the women out there, right? Like especially women who move to a different country. Whether it be because of their husbands, because of the family, because of themselves. What would you tell them if they are afraid? If they are afraid to take that first step, and if they are
First
scared
step
of,
towards
self-care, towards becoming the best version of themselves, towards being a mother and doing other things, What would you tell them if they're ready to do it, but they're afraid of the judgment of what society would say?
It's very important to choose a society. Now that's one choice you get. You get to make the choice of the company you choose to be with. When you surround yourself with the right people who believe in you, who want you to be a better version of yourself, it makes it easier. So the choice, always you have the choice. No matter what you say, you do have the choice. So choose better for yourself. Be your own best friend. When you're your own best friend, you will take care of yourself. Keep yourself as a priority, and don't worry about perfection.
All right. So I do have some rapid fire questions
Oh
for you.
my God.
All right. So what is your biggest or your favorite mom flex moment? Something you're proud of or rarely say out loud?
Can I give two?
Go for it.
My biggest flex, I would say, was winning the title after regaining my health, my fitness, taking part in the pageant and winning the title. That's my biggest flex. And recently I co-authored a book. That for me was another huge milestone, a new chapter in my life. So,
That is pretty huge.
Yeah, it was.
So how did you get into, pageant? Did you always know, did you want to do this?
No, I don't think I would have ever done it. I was absolutely, for me, that's the most terrifying thing, to be judged or to judge anybody. For me, that's not something which I'm comfortable with. But to grow, you have to do things that make you uncomfortable. And that was my biggest, yes, you have to step out of your comfort zone. And for me, that was my biggest step out of my comfort zone, to actually walk on the stage and be there and put myself out to be judged. So that for me was the biggest challenge. But yes, I did it and won the title, and that was fantastic. It was a great feeling. And yes, that was out of my comfort zone, absolutely. But I absolutely enjoyed every bit of it.
You did it. What was the other moment?
The other moment was writing my own story. And when you reflect on your own journey, you actually take a moment to realize how far you have come in life.
Yeah, it was really inspiring and very, very interesting to hear your story.
I hope you got something to take away from this.
I definitely did.
Good. What was your biggest takeaway?
I think my biggest takeaway was that it's okay to fail. I mean, not okay to fail, but you're not going to be perfect. That was my biggest takeaway, is that, as someone who's like in this generation, today's generation, perfection is something we thrive for, right? Like there's competition, there's the need to be perfect, but sometimes we just forget that it's okay to not be perfect.
Yeah, human. It's okay.
Yeah, but that is something I will definitely take back, is that it's okay to not be perfect, and
I'm so glad.
It's okay to just do you.
Do you? Be
Yeah.
you? Yes, absolutely. I'm so glad that helped.
Yeah, and so I would like to ask for your ending statement. What would you want listeners to hear? Who is Nivedita? What would you want them to know?
So me, as a health and transformational coach, what I have strived for is to be the biggest support system for people, for women, men, both in their own right, to experience change, push past their mindsets, their holdbacks, because health is a journey, it's not a destination, and we constantly need support. We need the support of our society, we need the support of our loved ones, we need the support of a coach or a trusted person who walks alongside you. And for me, this is my purpose, my biggest way of giving back to the community, as to be the support system that they need. So I'll always be there for whoever needs it.
It's very
you.
sweet.
Thank you.
All right, well, thank you so much. It was really nice having you.
Nice talking to you too.
I hope everybody who's listening will take a lot away from this. It was very inspiring.
You're welcome. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.